And we're back. We're getting ready. The lobby is built up and ready. We're waiting for players to get in and squared away. Game number 1. We saw Empire put together a very, very nice draft, really taking it to Fire right there. Fortunately, they just couldn't quite get warmed up. And I think it would be a warm-up for us as well, I guess, for game number 1. And Merlini, what do Fire have to do to pull it back in game number 2 here?
It would help if they had a coach, I think, for more moral support. And Dota's a very emotional game, especially if you're playing competitively. And although I think a lot of the players are like even keeled, sometimes it never hurts to have more morale.
Yeah, certainly.
So I think if you're the drafter for them, or they're like in their post-game locker room discussion, it's like, okay, well, we didn't have the best lanes, like in matchup versus Axe. Lina matched up versus Beastmaster with very aggressive roaming supports, Rubik and Avenge.
Yeah.
It just wasn't the best. So I think they go back to the drawing board. We need one big team fighter that is backup in case we fail. Whatever, we'll just 5-man. Yeah. Maybe we can come back. Tidehunter, Faces Void, something like that to set things up. And they need stronger lanes. I think that's very, very important. And then alternatively, they could go for like a Naga strategy or something like that. But that's a thing for another time.
Yeah, maybe. Empire's been a team that's been known to be, when they have the upper hand, and you see it in game number 1, they'll just take control of it and they'll just push, and just go right for the objectives and not even allow the opportunity for Fire to make a comeback play. Yeah, they were able to smoke up and find a little pick here and there on a couple of supports, but it just wasn't enough. And for a lot of the trades for Fire, they ended up losing almost more than they were getting out of it. And I agree, they need more team base around it. They did ban out the Tidehunter at the start of the last game, so unfortunately they couldn't get Mike that precious team fight potential there, but we'll have to see if they kind of round things out better.
You can tell that Empire is looking to take small fights with them all the time. All the heroes that they ban are great against mass team fight. Ancient Apparition, first phase ban. Tidehunter, first phase ban. Silencer, and I forget ban number 4, but I think it was also similarly like team fight control heavy because they don't actually want to 5-on-5 them. Empire probably think they're better than Fire, which it's nice to go into a match thinking that you're better than your opponents, but this means that they think that they can outskill them in the small skirmishes, and they certainly did. I think Fire has to take them out of that sort of game and make them feel scared. No one was pressured on the map except for Axe. Axe is like, whatever, I'm scared of dying, but it's just an Axe at the end of the day. He already had his blink. It's not that big of a deal if he's the only one that feels scared. Juggernaut just farmed wherever he wanted to. Yeah. Beastmaster solo roar people without any repercussions at all, and it was just overall a lackluster game plan from Fire.
Yeah, and you got to give credit, of course, to Empire's backstaff, those supports, and especially like Aloha Dance. When it's not, you can't really just respect ban out those kind of supports at the bat. Rubik, it's not really first ban worthy, but if you do allow the opportunity for Empire and those supports to feel comfortable on the support grabs, you just see how comfortable they are with them. They move around the map, they find their picks, and it just happened right from the start. Ush, like what? He got taken down 3 different times, and it really kind of put him on tilt, it felt like.
I think the big problem with Fire right now is that their supports don't do anything before 10 minutes. 10 minutes is around when Fog gets his blink, and then boom, stuff starts happening. Yeah. But if stuff is only starting happening 10 minutes into the game, there's a problem.
And I feel like that's why we see a lot of success in something that I already brought up in the pregame was like fluffs like Mirana. That is a hero you can look to get aggressive right off the bat, and he's shown statistically he's 5-0 with the frickin' hero, and maybe that's something you got to go for. Get aggressive early on, add pressure, keep him away from getting the easy CS, keep the mind games there, so that they can't feel as comfortable just being on the aggressive and forcing Fire to just be back against the wall and be pressured so early on.
The Venge pickup would have been better for them than the Lion. Like a Venge bat opener would have been much, much stronger, just because Venge is just a much better roamer at level 1. Lion's slightly better at zoning maybe, and getting kills in lane, but that's not what they needed.
Yeah, like another support they go to, I feel like they could be very aggressive with, was like Skywrath Mage is something that Fire used to go to a lot. And I'm hoping that's going to be something they're going to look to go for this time. Last time it's like, well, we can get aggressive, but we have to get some blinks here. We got to make sure we have everyone farmed up, and then that way TC will be able to farm, and the 4 of us can really be able to create the space for him. No, there was no chance. It was Empire, the ones that were be able to head rush right off the bat and just take it to Fire. So we'll look if they can change things up here. We did now get the draft underway here, and we want to know, and I want to know, these first bans could be very, very crucial. We saw in game number 1, it was Empire who had first pick, so Fire Dota banned out the Wisp. We'll see if this time they leave it out there, and they could try to get a hold of that Wisp themselves. Wisp, Tony, both these teams love that combo and can really do a lot of work with it. So this could be just kind of the tempo changer right at the start.
And also Fire has the opportunity to get their hands on Juggernaut.
Yes.
Ush has been just a complete game changer on that hero when it's in his hands.
You got to let something through. If you try to ban it like Wisp and Jug early on, you might let something like a Tidehunter through for Mike, and Mike would be able to utilize that very nicely. But
they needed a Brew last game too. I don't think Brew was.
I think Brew was banned out.
Was it banned?
I
actually don't remember. I was looking at.
But you're right. You're absolutely right. And
they need something like that.
Yeah.
Certainly I know Tidehunter was banned. I know AA and Silencer were banned, and Wisp. But I think the Brew would be very important for Fire. And this is what Team Empire strategy is. And I think it's a very solid one versus Fire. And they have to be innovative.
All right, are they going to ban the Wisp, man? They ban the Wisp. If they don't ban this Wisp, I'm going to be... Okay, there's the Wisp ban. Never mind. So Empire also been doing their research. Know it's something that Fire fall back on. They're not going to allow them to easily be able to pick it up. But we were talking about this outside of here, Starladder. There's just been some picks that we just have not seen at all as of recent. Just kind of fell off the wayside. What about something like Elder Titan? Was something Fog used to play all the time when he was on Sneaky Nick's Assassins. And he could still also play in a 4 position here and build up some good farm, get the whole of the Yules early on. But teams really just don't care to go for that Elder Titan anymore. What really happened? I thought
he's not that good at controlling bounties. I think it's one of the big issues with the hero. But aside from that, I can't really think of that much why he's fallen off.
Could be something to go for the Radiant side, so you got to have someone who could be able to scout out the Roche pit if Empire look to kind of go for a more Roche-oriented lineup. I imagine if they have the opportunity, Vengeful Spirit could be grabbed up probably in this first wave, and if Empire get it, they might build on that minus armor synergy even more, and that way they not only just have huge right-click potential with Silent, but they could also be able to get the Roche easy. But it looks like Fire Dota, they're going to go right back again and get a hold of the Lion. More than likely it could be for Fog. So Fog was able to throw together a good time blink, but at that point, Empire had already gotten so much done. So I guess they're feeling confident they can fall back on it once more. And, just like Alliance, they're a team that also favors getting Lion right off the bat.
Lion is decent. His blink isn't as game-changing as some other heroes, though, on supports.
10 seconds remaining.
Like a Earthshaker, a Sand King.
Yes, exactly.
Kind of
5 seconds.
It's just because he can't escape after he blinks in.
Yeah.
Team Empire.
Well, there's going to be your Vengeful Spirit. Empire just happy to grab it up again for Always Want to Fly. Empire's also been one of those teams. It's like these fun little statistics we look over. They're one of the few teams in this region that still go for like a Drow Visage. Always Want to Fly, I know, used to be notoriously known for being a huge, high-impact Visage kind of a farmer. But it just seems like Empire, ever since EES Portal, kind of changed up their overall game style. They just seem to be a lot more aggressive than they were before, and well, things are pretty aggressive here. Troll Warlord has been a hero that's kind of resubmerged into like more of a top tier kind of a grab here. We see like Navi.
Resubmerged. He is now back beneath the surface.
I mean, it's just like, we didn't see much Troll. Like maybe like Team Leviathan would pick it up as like a niche pick for like their Shredder player, but other teams didn't really consider it a whole lot. But lately, he's really been in the limelight. Havos picked it up. He has that infamous 1 versus 4 kind of lineup. He just could do serious right click in a matchup, and of course the pushing potential is also huge with that global ultimate. If they get like a Faceless Void, which I know teams have gone for, the synergy between Troll and Faceless Void is very nice.
Even LC, I think there's a lot of heroes that synergize well with Troll Warlord, and yeah, he has been a solid stable for a lot of these teams. I mean, the hero is... I think a lot of teams have been starting to pick up on how strong the hero is, though. Very good at man fighting, and especially important at controlling Roshan. So good.
Trying to think, I really haven't seen Empire go to the hero a whole lot and how they like to play. Do they do a mid lane troll for resolution, or is it a silent farming troll?
They've done aggro tries with it.
Aggro tries?
Yeah.
Oh,
not always, but they have done it before.
Okay, so something we could look for here. Being able to do an aggro try, Dire side. I can't remember who was, maybe it was Fluff who's saying that the aggro try on Dire side is much better than the aggro try potential on the Radiant side. Do you agree with that, or do you think it's pretty much of a wash?
I actually think Radiant's a little bit stronger, because if you have control of the lane, you can pull.
That is true. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right. You're right. Actually, now that I think about it, it probably was the Radiant side advantage because you have that side pull camp.
Yeah, that side pull.
If you're able to take the lane all the way forward to the tower, you can always just drop back and take advantage of that pull camp as well.
Because what are you going to do if you're Dire? If you're Dire and you have an advantage of the lane, you can push a tower or gank mid, and I think both of those are like very obvious to see and very obvious to stop. But on the Radiant side, you can push farm up or gank mid and control the top rune and control the opponent's jungle. It's slightly better. It's not that big of a deal, I would say, but we shall see.
So Nature's Prophet going to be the second grab here for Fire. A hero that a lot of teams can fall back on if maybe Team Empire wanted to build up more of a push-heavy lineup with Troll. He's able to add that pressure elsewhere and do a side push. And plus, having that teleportation, you could easily TP into lane and still have a TP to fall back on to get back and be able to aid your team in need. So haven't seen Mike pick it up too much as of recent, but definitely a hero he has in his pool. I have seen it.
Well, I played against Mike a lot in NEL, and he says, pick me Doom, Bat, and Nature's Prophet. Those are the only three that he will play.
What about Clockwork? If you look at his statistical breakdown, one of his highest win rates on any hero is Clockwork.
I think that's what the team wants him to play.
We just don't.
I'm not exactly sure why. He wouldn't give me the reasons. He just said,
it's Mike.
pick me these three. They can only ban two. Give me the other one if they don't ban it.
So you said Nature's Prophet,
Doom, and Bat. That's the only three. I asked if you want a Centaur, anything other than those three. He said absolutely
no
not.
Centaur?
No Centaur.
All right.
It's also might be because he's already very polished with the other heroes, and he might have just wanted those to practice. But
that's true.
I'm not sure.
He's like, maybe I'm just tired of playing it on my team, and this is NEL. Can I just
telling
play something
you
I want to play?
What he requested.
All right. Yeah, I love that you have the inside scoop. You're in there playing it in NEL. I still have the opportunity to kind of go back and cast a lot of those games, so you could see a lot of these players still scrimming it about and. Iron sharpens iron, they say, when you go in those NEL kind of games. But I think Fire, recognizing the synergy that could be there between a Troll and a Void, they ban out that Void, and now they are the ones to ban out the Lycan, maybe just fearing that Empire could really take advantage of that Dire side and Roche side, and of course Lycan and Troll also could work beautifully together. And
Troll's also pretty good against a Void. Like if you get off your Whirling Axis, which you should be because he has to time walk in, that blind is insane.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Like I said, that Havost 4-on-1 matchup pretty much only happened because he had that great blind happen. And given that there was some spells that could have been used during that skirmish, but you could just see it right there that this guy, he's a regular Fight Club kind of a guy. He's happy to throw out the gloves and really go swinging. So
I like the Nature's Prophet pickup for Fire because it makes them not rely on Blink. I think they're like, okay, well, we'll get things rolling once Bat Rider gets Blink Dagger, once Lion gets Blink Dagger, but as I said before, it's just too late. They need to bring fights earlier. They need to win. If they can't win in just like a straight 3-on-3 or 1-on-1, that's where Nature's Prophet comes in.
Yeah.
Teleport in, turn the tides into your favor, take a tower, limit the opponent's movements, and that's where you win the early game versus Empire.
That definitely seems to be the trend as far as how Nature's Prophets get built up. Give a couple of those nulls early in the game, and then you can be involved with a huge right-click. And we'll see if that's something they do go for here. But another game, another axe grab for Team Empire here. In the previous game, it was Yoki representing in the off lane, taking it to that Lycan. He even had to pull out of the lane early on and go to the jungle, which allowed TC to farm up quite a bit. But they did find success, and, well, they certainly would love to have that extra bit of initiation. So Yoki going for the axe again here. It's not like Fire picked up a whole lot that axe could counter against here. But it just seems to be one of those grabs lately, like Jug, that it's just so good to have. You might as well grab it if it's available.
It dissuades a lot of heroes, but there are some heroes that are really good versus this sort of pickup, though. Like Razor is pretty good. Yeah. Slark, I think, is like okay versus this Viper.
Venomancer going to be grabbed here. I mean, I wouldn't have mind seeing a Razor. That is something that TC did pick up pretty frequently in the past, but most teams haven't really gone back to the Razor, and we really haven't seen it shine like we did before. But now a Venomancer grab coming out. And with that Nature's Prophet already in the field, this is looking like potentially a mid-TC Venomancer here? Maybe wagering that they're going to be going against the Troll in that mid lane.
Fluff has played it before, but I think it's mostly TC. The Venomancer pick, I think, is here to delay Empire's their strongest part of the game. With Axe and Troll, they're going to be very strong around like 8 to 25 minutes, I'd say. And Venomancer with the Plague Wards is just incredibly difficult to do anything against. You can't blink initiate, you can't push, and even if you win team fights, you can't take objectives because everyone's taking a lot of damage.
He's such a pain in the ass kind of a hero, Venomancer.
Yes.
And I remember we had a game where we cast together, and there was a Jigglebilly Venomancer, and you just constantly look over, and he's just plaguing that lane, split pushing it. And it's like, well, what are we going to do? We can't go over there and just all jump him, because even if you jump in, you have to commit a lot to take him down. He could be, if he's able to throw together a decently timed Agnum Scepter, he's not the easiest to take down immediately. You might have to commit a couple of spells, and then when it's all done, if you take him down, you're walking away probably to the fountain, because you've just taken so much poison. And, well, an Omni Knight coming out here for Empire. This is a hero grab that has been very, very popular in the North American scene as a first ban, first pick, and we haven't seen a lot of over here. Mostly teams have been going for something like a Dazzle for that bit of sustain and that, you know, being able to kind of fight through, but now being picked up here from Empire is a nice, intriguing grab, and then Fire go right back, and it is going to be the Naga grab that you called out, so an Ush Naga potentially here.
Naga, I think, is one of the best Omni Knight counters in
they picked it up right away too.
Most phases of the game. She has just everything that you need to deal with an Omni Knight. She has a lot of spread damage, so you can't heal. She has a lot of magical damage, so that GA isn't completely effective. And even if you do GA, you can just Song of the Siren and counter it. You also have a spell that goes to Repel, which is the Ensnare. And on top of that, Omni Knight has mobility issues. Another way to deal with Omni Knight, aside from Naga, is just taking fights on multiple sides of the map.
Yeah.
And Naga Siren with their split push capabilities and BOTs just makes things very, very difficult for an Omni Knight here. So Fire looks like their game strat is to go for quick picks with Lion +1 and delay the game with Nature's Prophet and Venomancer until Naga Siren gets big and Troll kind of peters off a little bit, as does Axe.
Yeah.
And as of right now,
5 seconds remaining.
Empire doesn't really have anything that can like take towers and be like, okay, we are going to shove this hero at your tower, and if you don't deal with it, then you're going to lose. But Empire can't force it that badly.
A Shadow Fiend going to be picked up here. So it's looking like potentially a core farming Silent Troll Warlord and Resolution now Shadow Fiend. Not your Radiant side Shadow Fiend that most Shadow Fiend players like to go for, but here in this matchup. So the CS game going to look very strong for them here, but what does a Shadow Fiend really add to this game? Aside from the fact that, of course, you got that minus armor synergy between Shadow Fiend and Vengeful Spirit here. Just, I guess, Axe being able to jump in, being able to lock them in place. Hopeful that maybe the Naga Song is already down. You pop your GA, and Shadow Fiend can just constantly dish out huge right-click damage and burst through. Maybe some of these more squishy kind of a hero.
Shadow Fiends to punish the passive picks of Fire. I thought they were going to go more aggressive with Nature's Prophet, but with the Veno and the Naga and now the Earthshaker, it's a very passive game. This way, they have 3 heroes that scale very well into the late game. They have a great hero to repel. Shadow Fiend might not even need to get a BKB this game, although probably versus a Naga. A Lincoln's is also an option. And he also will win the lane versus either a Naga Siren or a Venomancer. So that's pretty much one guaranteed lane one, and you don't ever really want to give a Shadow Fiend free farm like that. And ideally, they would want to put an aggressive hero mid versus a Shadow Fiend, especially with Nature's Prophet being able to TP in and pick him off. But they know that they just don't have that aggression available to them. And Empire can get away with 3 pretty greedy cores, 1 pretty greedy support on an Omni Knight, and maybe take the late game versus Fire. The only problem is they still don't really have a great tool to deal with the Naga. No anti-mage, no Doom, no like Faceless Void, nothing like that to counter her. But we shall see.
Empire, yeah, they're going to be pressured to look to get a lot done in the early portion of the game. If they allow this to go too long and you start getting to that 30-minute mark point, Ush talked about how already has such a high GPM kind of a rate. You could look to put together a very, very solid Naga Siren.
Fire should have seen this ward. Fly scouted out Lion very early. He saw that she had Observer wards over here, and over here she didn't. So he knows it's in this area somewhere.
Yeah, we'll see if they look to go. And it looks like the Courier's already bringing out that Sentry, and Fog will look to remove that bit of extra vision. But here we go, folks. It's going to be game number 2 of this best of 3 series. Empire coming up with a nice win there in game number 1. Fire looking to take it to a game number 3. Of course, this is a double elimination now for Starladder. Loser will not be eliminated, obviously. They'll have a second go in the lower bracket, but we'll see. Leading things off at Radiant side, it's going to be Team Fire here. Captain Fluff and Stuff going to be playing your Earthshaker. And we got TC, who's going to be playing what looks like your mid-lane Venomancer. Fog, once again, be reprinting his role on the Lion. Looks like Ush is going to be going in the off lane, farming up for now at least on the Naga, so potential aggro try coming in for them. And IX Mike is going to be playing his Nature's Prophet in the safe lane position. So interesting grab. Fogged had said something about a little bit of lag, so he's probably going to go for a reconnect, hence the pause.
So looking at these lanes, Fire really want to secure farm for Ush. And Empire with this tri-lane, they're looking to shut down the safe lane farming Naga Siren. Fire anticipated already and throw Naga to the off lane, but she's matched up versus an Axe. Also not that great of a matchup for Naga Siren, but better than the tri-lane. However, Omni Knight already has a TP scroll on him. So if Fire decide to put a lot of pressure on Axe, they can just swing up the Omni Knight and boom, there you go. Earthshaker also not that great in this particular lane, just because it's a dual melee and versus an Axe, which is going to be extremely difficult for them to handle.
There you can see Fire, very focused and ready. Mike, maybe a slight beam of sweat, as he knows the pressure could be on him to make sure he has that global presence and know-how to be able to be there in case a skirmish does break out for his Nature's Prophet. And TC, who did find the farm on his Lycanthrope in the previous game, this time playing the Venomancer. They have rolled with, like you said, with the fluff support Veno, but now TC on the Venomancer, and something I know I've seen even Fear do on EG. You just kind of put yourself in that mid lane, you put down the wards, and you know, how does it work here for Resolution? Shadow Fiend going toe-to-toe with the Venomancer here. Has he got to try to just kind of step away from the wards, or is he able to bring in the right click and he can quickly like bring them down?
You can farm the wards. You get souls from them.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, that it's not a matchup that they can avoid, though. They have to pair someone weak versus the Shadow Fiend. And it's a little unfortunate. And Shadow Fiend can also push out the lane very quickly. Most heroes, I think, versus Veno have trouble contesting the rune or defending their tower, one or the other. And I think Shadow Fiend actually can do both of those.
And Axe, we'll see how he can hold himself here. I already introduced the squad, but let's go ahead and talk about Empire here. So Yoki, again, is going to be playing the Axe here, this time up in the solo safe lane, going to be going against Ush's Naga plus potential +2 supports. Resolution on his Shadow Fiend. I'm imagine that always want to fly, of course, on your Vengeful Spirit. They're probably going to look to make some stacks happen in the jungle, whether it be for either Axe or Shadow Fiend to kind of burst down quickly on the side. Aloha Dance going to be playing that Omni Knight, and you already mentioned the TP scroll. Kind of the same way you need to do with your Dazzle or Abaddon. You need to make sure you have that ticket on hand that when something does go down, you can quickly get in. That's life or death, usually, being able to get in there and get the quick heal or perhaps turn around. And Silent is going to be playing the core farming Troll Warlord.
This is what Fire needed last game, an early TP under their supports to protect the weak mid hero. And Empire already have that shored up with the Shadow Fiend and the Omni Knight. Although it might not actually save him from gank just because Omni Knight's not that strong at levels 1 and 2. It still is usually enough to dissuade early aggression from Fire.
All right, Fog reconnected back into the game. Thinks it's good to go. That's good enough to get things underway here. No early skirmish this time. Remember in last game, it was that quick first blood at the top bounty rune. But now look at this. Already dual lanes to start out here for Empire. Always want to fly, at least for now. Going to help Resolution get the upper hand with the CS at the start here, trying to force TC back a little bit here. And on the bottom, Mike, he's not going to get zoned back too hard from Aloha Dance, but the Omni Knight will push forward and try to get him a few clocks in with his hammer, at least so he can't get too close to get that XP.
He does have a D-Gen level 1 build. See, Yoki taking a lot of damage on top.
Oh, that long ball Fisher does come from Fluff, and now he's got to try to turn the corner, but beautifully set up from Fog right there. Gets a quick Earth Spike in, and now it's going to be Fire who get the first blood in game number 2. Very nicely done.
Securing Naga's farm is the most important part of this game.
Yeah.
And, I mean, there are other options for them to concentrate where their supports can go, maybe shut down the safe play from the supports, but actually both of them are playing pretty aggressively. They can shut down Shadow Fiend, but more importantly, get Naga's farm out. Without a farm Naga, they will not win this game. And if they concentrate on a Shadow Fiend, X will get an early blink. If they concentrate too much on X, you know, Troll and Shadow Fiend are going to get a lot of farm. And I think this is the right play for them, although now Ush may struggle versus Yoki.
Yeah, they recognize the supports move through. You can tell Fire know that with the disappearance of Always Want to Fly in her Vengeful Spirit, she was probably looking to go to the jungle and build up some early stacks, so they wanted to try to get a hold of her and maybe get another quick takedown. But they're going to be coming up short on this kind of a rotation, and now Fog making his return back to top lane. Yoki, get the hell out of my lane.
This is really bad for TC. We already see 11 souls up on Shadow Fiend. Double raise coming out.
Oh, there's one, there's two, one more right click. Oh, the stun from Fluff. What a block right there. Prevents Always One Fly from getting that secondary grab. Good stop right there from Fluff. Back-to-back good fishers for him.
See Omni Knight maybe trying to come in for a kill on TC. He does not have a salve, sitting at 150 HP, maybe about to eat another tango. It's a risky play.
Fluff is nearby, already clearing up, and Earthshaker's one of the best at preventing, like we saw there, that early initiation factor. TC is going to be able to salve up. And there's Aloha Dance now scouted out from Fluff. Fluff walks back. There's the fissure, does catch both of them. Empire not going to be able to really push on forward in this mid lane. So TC's going to be safe for now. Fluff just trying to always be in the shadows in the dark. And now, top lane, we could see Fogged and Always Want to Fly cross paths. Eyeballing each other quite a bit. But you can definitely feel this is a different game style for Fire. Uh-oh, Fog could be flanked right here. Aloha Dance does have that slow reach, and meanwhile, Troll able to take down Mike, but we'll keep eyes here. There is a fissure again from Fluff to prevent him, but yeah, bottom lane, Mike gets caught out and taken down from Silent. A nice solo takedown right there for your Troll. Not sure what went wrong there for Mike, but
Troll's really surprisingly strong in a one-on-one,
yeah.
And you'll see actually a fair amount of solo kills coming out from Troll that normally people wouldn't expect.
Just the slow from the axes, I guess, and the chase down, being able to tomahawk that Nature's Prophet in the back of the head.
He also has a lot of armor, and he can deal with it. He can tower dive very easily. He has 7 armor with a poor man shield and a melee form.
Ush, who's 15-0 on CS. When you compare that to Silent's Troll, he's half behind right here. But they're going to call an audible here. They're sending Ush now to the bottom lane to go against Silent and his Troll here. Meanwhile, mid lane, Fissure breaks out. Resolution could be in trouble. There's going to be the Hex return from Fogged. Resolution locked in a corner, will be taken down right there. It is going to be, it looks like a team takedown. The gold will be split amongst the Fire
fissures
squad.
by Fluff.
Oh,
the first 4 minutes of the game. He's been so crucial for Fire surviving this early game.
That first blood takedown top. That life-saving fissure mid lane earlier for TC, and now another setup right there locks in Resolution on the bad side. And now we're just seeing a lot of lane changing here as they look to put Mike in his more traditional off-lane position on this Nature's Prophet going against the Axe.
One big problem for Fire is that Naga CS is very poor. She's #1 CS on Fire, but her CS is only 18. Compare that to the Troll, who has almost double that at 35.
Exactly.
And some of those might be treants, but it's still a ridiculously high CS this early into the game, especially being a solo off-lane Troll.
So now rolling with 3 here on the bottom. That Illusion, of course, scouting out Fogged and Fluff nearby, but maybe still considering the potential to get a quick grab right there, at least on Silent. But Aloha Dance, being that babysitter, he's just going to hide on the side. He has the level 2 purification just in case things get hairy. But Silent's still feeling very, very comfortable in finding that bit of farm. And Ush will have to see if he's going to blitz forward on going for that Sacred Relic. But no, I say that, and he's already got the ring. So it looks like he's going to do the Aquila build-up, maybe potentially drums, then get that Radiance. He doesn't have the most ideal early game farm here, but we'll see.
I think Empire's mid game is going to be very explosive, though. They have a lot of stacks to work with. See, 1 stack here, 1 stack here, and like a repelled Troll or a repelled Axe, or even a repelled Shadow Fiend with a Blink Dagger is going to be very tough for Fire to handle.
Empire easy to contest the pull camp there on the side. Forces the Fissure to come out from Fluff to try to keep them back. And now Mike, who's got the early robe, is going to build together a couple of nulls here, but we haven't seen him obviously pull back from his laning stage to look to get involved as they continue to just bully also Ush back in this bottom lane.
We also see X going for probably a Crimson Guard first, so it won't be the Blink Rush that we see. This gives him more sustain versus the Nature's Prophet, who's going to be constantly right-clicking him, although he doesn't have phase, so he doesn't really hit that hard versus a Stout Shield Axe. The damage from the treants will add up over time.
Yeah, Crimson Guard, pretty good against summons as well. So you got your Naga illusions and those trees.
Fog scouting out stacks. Let's see what he can do here. Oh, he's just blocking.
Taking that potential away. I'm also curious to see a resolution on his Shadow Fiend buildup. I know some Shadow Fiend players love to get that sustain, getting the mech, but there is an Omni Knight already on his team. He's got the belt. He's going to go right for power treads. Do you know of any, what Shadow Fiend build you'd like to go for in this kind of game to be able to utilize his potential as much as possible?
I think a blink with a repel is pretty darn good. Treads is usually very safe. He does have attack speed from Troll, but this will give him a little bit of extra HP pool to deal with things such as Lion Finger and Poison Nova. And with an Omni Knight, things are always different. The builds differ greatly. You'll see like a HOD, just straight tank build. He can do Roshan very easily with that. You'll see a lot of move speed builds with drums S and Y. He can even go Shadow Blade this game if he so desires. Lincoln Sphere, definitely a viable option with Omni Knight so you don't get your Repel purged off. And BKB is a standard.
He's pulling the trigger on Ush. Fluff is there though, so... No, they converge on the Fluff immediately. He has to fissure actually to save himself. And now he's walking down. Ush does have the song. If things go really, really bad, but there they go. They're able to cut them off in the alleyway. Now Mike looking to get involved right here, and quickly the numbers turn around. Aloha Dance, though, able to pull out the TP and get away, and Silent is already on the way out. A lot of footsie play, but no one able to be dropped. And Mike had to rotate all the way down here.
Contest for Arun. Silent going to run into TC. And no blood will be shed. Nope. So that's 4 heroes trying to fend off an Omni and a Troll. And I mean, Troll is just immensely powerful at this stage in the game.
Yep.
Right as soon as he hits level 7.
That haste rune at the top, TC knows that. No one's picking it up yet. And he hasn't moved up there quite yet. But for his Venomancer, does have his level 6, but he's going to be in this mid lane, I'd imagine, for quite a while.
So it looks like it will be the mech from Shadow Fiend. We see a Ring of Regeneration inside his stash.
All right. A lot of sustain power then. You put that together with the Omni.
It looks like they're trying to end the game a little bit earlier then.
Radiant's top tower
I imagine that's what you want to do going against a farming Ush Naga.
It's not necessarily the only way of action, though, because they do have 3 heroes that scale decently into the late game. But with a Crimson Guard and a mech, and a Troll to push down towers, that push is going to be very formidable. I don't know if a Venom Warline or even Earthshaker Fissures can stop that.
Speaking of pushing towers, you can see Empire here now pulling out the Troll ultimate. Really going to lay it into this tier 1 tower. Fire nowhere near to even consider going any contention. And Ush is going to go right for the jungle to try to build up the farm and go right towards that Sacred Relic.
It's still very slow.
Yeah, you got a quota to meet, and he's already behind quite a bit. We'll see here. TC trying to slowly peck away as well at this tier 1 tower.
We see a Midas pickup from Veno. It's a little bit of a passive game, and I can understand the Midas pickup. I just think with this, the disadvantages are he's not going to be able to deal with this push. He didn't actually see the Ring of Regeneration or Hedras from Resolution, I believe, until very recently, and they may not see this impending push coming out for
Yoki
Empire.
going way behind, does get the call onto Mike, and there's your first chop of the game. Yoki now going to be hexed up. No rotation coming out whatsoever. Yoki now is like, hey, I'm ready to go, but TC now with that haste rune steps in, gets the Gale off, plus the Poison Nova here. They're just going to try to kite out Yoki until he's slowly withered away into death. And they should get it.
That's a sad way to die.
So maybe going, uh-oh. If he gets a lot of spins, he could get the chop, and they get him down. Oh, that's unfortunate there for Team Fire. Finally, they're able to take down the axe, but Fluff just getting a little too close.
Radiant's middle tower.
Maybe they wanted Fluff to get the last hit so he can get quicker to that Blink Dagger, but at that point, maybe it's just better to play it a bit more safe.
He ends up with 1,400 gold after the Vanguard pickup. That went splendid for Empire. And on top of that, they don't really care about the axe dying. Just like last game, he's just there to be annoying, focus, use your ultimates on him, and on top of that, Empire just taking down objectives on the other side of the map, and still Naga Siren not that farmed.
He's got good timing towards that Blink Dagger, and he, I imagine, is going to go on the assault even more so. And at that point, Fire could have their hands full with Yoki's axe, and they'll be neglecting Silent on his Troll, who's already well in ahead. You look at the top 3 net worth, all belonging to Empire, with Resolution at the top. Look how deep and far down Ush is, 3,800. Definitely needs to play that catch-up game. Certainly helps once you get that Radiance, but it's about getting to that point. So we'll see if Empire, they start to go for towers. Fire, I imagine, will have to sacrifice a few of them and just hope to go into the later game.
Fire doesn't really have a good way to deal with the Omni Knight. They don't have a good way to get into him during the fights. You see the Earthshaker very, very poor. Level 4, no boots yet. Looks like he's going into a Soul Ring, so we're talking about like a 20-minute blink at the very, very earliest. Nature's Prophet with an Orchid Rush may be able to deal with it, but on top of that, he has no mobility, no phase boost even on him.
Silent gets sprouted, but he just easily chops down that tree, but there's the fissure block, and they're able to converge. They do take him down. Very close right there, but obviously the Poison able to kind of move on through. Fogged on his line picks up that kill, and he's getting close to the Blink Dagger. Not as quick time as last game, but 1,800 gold, and well, speaking of blinks, there's Yoki's blink on Axe.
That's ridiculously fast.
Yeah, and a Vanguard. Oh my goodness. Very, very good for him. Mike shows his face, and Yoki's like, ah ha ha. I would love a piece of that. Mike's got to be careful. Oh boy, here we go. Oh, if he jumps in, gets healed, it's over. Yep, there it is. It's no time at all. Just a 1-2 punch coming out from Empire. Very quick work of the Nature's Prophet. TC though, making a go on mid lane. Resolution able to pop that mech. Certainly helps, and oh, now TC's in trouble. Magic Missile, Fluff is there. Fissure doesn't really catch, but tries to zone them back, and uh-oh, there's Yoki again. Another heal bomb, jump in, chop. And they take out TC. Fog's gonna be next. Oh, it's a slaughter right now. Empire looking really, really good also here in game number 2, and Yoki's Axe, man, he is just gonna be going on a tear. More pressure to build up here on Ush and Naga. Very rough.
Very rough indeed. Empire have not even committed to the Roshan pit. And I think it's going to come shortly after this T1 and mid. And Shadow Fiend hasn't really felt that much pressure after that, what, 4 or 5 minute death? Troll Warlords died once, but Fire always has to commit so many resources, usually 3 or 4 heroes and a couple of ultimates on top of that.
Tier 1 tower, going to be grabbed right there from Resolution. Fluff not able to get the deny. More gold into the pocket now for Resolution here.
IX Mike going for a chicken kill behind the T2 tower.
Oh, man. Does make it out.
Man, he couldn't even kill it in 2 right clicks. That's a sad NP.
Little bunny's going to live. Is that a bunny? Yeah, it's a bunny.
Arnabus?
Yeah. Weird looking bunny, and now it's an ugly-ass witch.
Oh, it's Babka, the Bewitcher.
Ugh. All right, we'll look away from that. Now Empire. They just are going to continue this assault, I'd imagine. As long as Yoki just has the upper hand. Oh, man. If he scouts out Ush here with no mana, nothing for a song, oh, that'd be devastating. Luckily, Fog will be there, but Empire not looking to pursue quite yet. Instead, they got other things on the mind. They go right in. They're going to battle it out with the big one. And I imagine there'll be no contention coming out from Fire. Man, that's a quick Roche. They get it. That Age is going to be snagged up from Resolution. And meanwhile, Fire trying to make it go on mid lane, but there's Yoki, jumps in, leads things off, allows Resolution to come on forward. Fissure's going to be there. TC trying to slither away, barely with any life. But they're going to keep going on the hunt. Yoki could pursue and go for a blink. TC's going to be fine for now, however.
Middle tower has fallen.
Still making his way out.
They have no damage. And we're talking about trying to kill a Vanguard Axe.
Oh, they get him finally, and they chop him down. I look away from TC 1 second, and they are able to catch up with him. And now it's 7-4, an Empire advantage. Fire do get that tower, but they still lose. And mind you, Fire had been mostly doing this without Ush's Naga. He does have about 3,500 gold, so he's getting close to that Radiance. But he's going to need a lot more. And Troll gets a pick off right there on Mike, as we saw a jump in there on the mid lane. Mike gets dropped bottom lane.
They're all in the Naga basket now.
Yeah.
The early game has just gone phenomenally poor for them.
Phenomenally poor.
Phenomenally poor.
Almost an oxymoron in itself, it almost sounds like. But here they go, and it doesn't stop here. The Repel, Resolution, not going to be feared whatsoever from Fog, but Fog is already out the other side. He'll be fine.
These wards by Empire are actually amazingly placed too. I mean, he kind of just had free reign, always want to fly. He just kind of walked up into their jungle and placed a ward, but there's still just amazing vision on Fire. Where is Naga supposed to farm safely?
And I haven't even seen a Guardian Angel have to come out yet from Aloha Dance. Could be that I missed it, but we'll see. They do plant themselves strong here in the mid lane. But yeah, I think you're right. This is just, if Ush wasn't nervous enough, man.
Always want to fly, gets caught out by a ward.
Immediate finger going to be right there from Fogged. Nice scout right there. They take down that support. Fogged able to get a nice finger grab right there. Brings it back a little bit, but.
Relic.
Radiant's
almost up on
tower
Ush. He has 4,000 gold, so Radiance timing. Yeah, actually, 19 minutes is a little bit better than I expected.
Yeah.
For him.
Considering the rough CS early in the laning phase.
But his towers are all falling apart. Keep in mind, Fire have fantastic high ground defense. The Fissure block, the Venom wards,
Radiant's bottom
Even the
tower
redirection
is
of
under
creeps
attack.
with Nature's Prophet, Nature's Call, and the split push threat to it. It is something that Empire is probably going to have to worry about. I mean, sure, they can sweep all the T2 towers on the back of the Aegis, probably take next Roshan, but still, ending the game early versus Naga is ideal, and they just don't have that great tower siege aside from the Troll Warlord, and I think Fire's base defense is much better than Empire's high ground siege.
They recognize that. They'll stall out quite a bit. They're trying to make it going silent. They got the sheep there. They're moving forward. Stun catches. Mana drain begins. But they can't follow quite through, and they just immediately pull back. Fortunately, they can't just get that grab. Bit of uncertainty, it looks like. 2 more minutes on the Aegis here for Empire and Resolution. So they're probably going to look to go for yet another objective, looking like the tier 2 here at the top lane. Fire, who I imagine was probably going to have to sacrifice a lot of towers. Maybe they're looking to put up a defense on this front. But it's just more and more stall game coming out here for Ush and his Naga.
TC sitting on a lot of gold there. Oh, he popped Troll Ultimate, but he's actually fissure blocked.
Yeah. Wasted ult. Very low cooldown, however.
Yoki wrapping around from behind.
Oh. There's the ward, though, from TC. And Empire do have that ward on the high ground. They could see any rotations coming in, but I know that they feel that they're just going to be going against 4 at most. Rush farming it on up, and it's going to be what looks like another tier 2 tower takedown. Preserving the glyph. Certainly the DD.
Fog's about to get chopped.
Uh-oh. Oh! There's the call. Sorry, buddy, you're not going anywhere. Yoki gets that grab on the Fogged, and he's going to be trapped. Or Yoki. Ever since he got that Blink Dagger, man, MVP all over the place getting grabs. And now it's just tower after tower here for Empire. They shuffle themselves to the mid lane. Fluff maybe trying to slow him every bit he can with that fissure, but they move in. Troll ultimate pop. That tower gets dropped immediately. Ush has his Radiance now, but is it too little too late at this point? Resolution with a Manta, and they strut themselves into the front door of Team Fire. There's that fissure block as they desperately try to slow them down. I don't know, Merlini. Is it going to be too late for Naga to be able to pull this one back? Because now they're losing their tier 3. This is rough. There it is. Forward. Fluff. Weighing back. TC. Guardian Angel pop. TC goes down. He already got off that Nova. Finger catches Silent. Takes down the Troll, and that's enough to scare Empire back. They're going to be wounded from all that dot damage and those illusions. Move forward with the Radiance Bird. Always want to fly. Has to be healed up. Mike looking to cut him off. Swap back. Fly. Always want to fly. Making it to the high ground. They are able to take down the Omni Slash, but Resolution with the big ultimate turns right back. Naga gets dropped, trying to pull out the song. Back and beyond. They still can't take down Always Want to Fly. They finally grab him, but it's a slaughter still for Empire. A 4 for 3. And what Fire thought they were going to be able to clean up on the front door, now they're just right back into it. That forces out the buyback from Naga, and they're just happy with that Empire pullback.
Fire needed to use their glyph a little bit earlier. They were holding out to use it on the barracks, but they have to save that T3 from dying. They have so many ways to stop the high ground push. They have Song of the Siren push, or anti-push. They have Mirror Image, Radiance to kill all the creeps, the Event Awards and the Fissure that we've been talking about, and they just let the tower fall without even using all their tools. And they can't afford to lose a T3 tower and use a Naga buyback this early into the game.
Uh-oh, Yoki jumping onto Ush here, and he has no song. It's just a solo takedown from Yoki's axe.
He has a scepter. Look at his items.
Oh my God. The Charles Barkley factor, very much real for this dunking machine. 14-8. This is not looking good. Potential 2-0 series sweep right here. Empire looking very on point. And Fire desperately looking to try to shake this off. Oh, jump in. Quick reaction, blink back from Fog though. Puts him ahead, gets the sheep. Mike comes in, it's a 4-on-1, but can they slay the Giant? It's taking so much effort that Silent already shows up, and Mike could get isolated here at the same time. Does take down Mike easily. Yoki is still fine. Walks away, and they can't even take down the axe. They're forced to pull out the stun. Now they're trying to focus on the Silent. Nice fissure, does lock him in place. The poison's there. The swap back does come out, and the heal from Aloha Dance saves out Silent. But another takedown. They get Mike. Always Want to Fly. Nice little grab, the ensnare. You're not going anywhere. And they take down the support.
In over your head.
So A 2-for-1 trade if you count the Naga takedown initially. Empire still very happy. They could slow this one down maybe a little bit if they'd like, wait for the Roche to come back up, have that Aegis, and try to finish what they started inside the Fire base.
That's a problem when the Axe can solo kill the Naga.
Oh yeah, it is.
It's a really big problem for him. And now, like I think a repelled troll can also kill Naga Siren very easily. And Ush really needs more farm. That buyback and that failed T3 defense is going to come back to haunt Fire.
Yeah, and with only 800 gold, he is quite a ways off. TC and Fluff here. Can they get a takedown on Silent? Fisher sets it up. TC Gale. No Poison Nova, but Mike comes in, has the Orchid. It's taking a lot of time. Silent's walking away. Yoki looking to come in from behind. Finally, they take him down with the finger from Fog, and they pull back. Nice little grab there for Team Fire.
Ush still looking to get his farm on 1,200 gold post-Radiance. So 1,200 gold accrued in 4 minutes for a Radiance Naga. And this just goes...
A blink Omni. Saves him right there.
This just shows how much Empire is pressuring Fire on the map. And he can't really farm lanes out safely. He has to scout out with his illusions ahead just to make sure that Axe isn't there. Just chop his head off. Her head off. Off with her head.
Its head off, whatever. But yeah, still trying to take even just this tier 1 top lane. Loha Dance scouts out, sees Mike farming this pull camp on the side. This is a full tier 1 tower.
And again, look at these wards. 2 lane wards for Empire. 1 in bottom, 1 in top. Very easy to tell where Naga is and where the rest of the team is. And also pretty easy to see where Fire is trying to set up their high ground defense. So if they want to switch lanes, can just do it very easily and safely.
So they're going to go for Roche in exchange for Fire getting this tier 1 tower top lane, which they would love to be able to funnel more gold towards Ush's Naga, but Empire now with that extra life again.
Yoki going for a kill on Ush.
Uh-oh.
Song already blown.
Jump forward, but he's got help right there. Yoki maybe overzealous on this one. Ush looking to get the last hit in there. Last time Fluff, you know. Oh, let go for now. Fog moves forward and gets chopped immediately. Oh, it just takes too long, and Empire are able to converge, and maybe Fog didn't get the memo. Tried to move in to finish him off, couldn't get the finger go. Yoki lives. Oh my God, the struggle continues here for Fire, unfortunately, if you're a Fire fan.
So Naga is creep cutting in the mid lane, and this will buy them a lot of time.
Oh, Silent now. Poison Nova's out. There's the heal, plus the read. Oh, and TC now going to be taken down. Jump in from Fluff, Echo, but the repel was already there. It's not going to be doing a whole lot. It's more one at a time we go from Fire, and they crumble like dominoes here in Empire. Man, they look good here in this opening series. They strut themselves going down this mid lane, still with Aegis in hand. TC is forced to pull out the buyback for this defense.
Ush try to creep skip. He will be able to kill that wave, so they still have a good 20 seconds until that next wave comes.
And you can see that high ground defense, the little Treants, the wards starting to be built up here. Focusing Yoki so he can't blink behind, but they are already beginning to unload here on the racks that are already exposed in the mid lane. Fire could still wait this one out with a Naga on your side. You can even afford to lose a set of racks, but we'll see. Still, racks in good contention here. Ultimate already being popped. Yoki gonna get repelled, moving in. Fluff, it's locked in a corner and he could get isolated. It's fine for now, drops the fissure. Troll pulls out the secondary ult. Ush gets out the song, but he's repelled, he's fine. He just easily chops up the Naga like sushi. An easy grab for them. Naga down 40 seconds, no buyback. Empire now are gonna sweep through the Fire base and look to extinguish their squad. Finger flies from Fog, but it's too late. Yoki, godlike for him, and Fire have had enough. It doesn't take long for Empire, and they go 2-0 in their opening series. Fire drop. They look good.
It's looking ugly. Picking melee carries back-to-back versus an Axe makes things very easy for Yoki and his pickoffs. And I mean, I can see where they were going with that. They wanted to go for a completely different strategy, a Naga-centric, but Empire's mid-game is way too strong to allow us to get that much farm.
They look good. Yoki, I'd say MVP. God, he had some good farm. At first it seemed a little questionable, but he got the Vanguard, he got a couple of quick grabs. It was very awkward. There were times that they thought they would be able to just easily bring him down, then they end up just dropping and losing more anyways. He gets the quick blink dagger, and at that point he just goes on a tirade across the map.
Ush looks dejected.
Yeah, I imagine so. This is where you got to be able to keep that shin up and bounce back. Not out yet. Now they just get shoved down in that lower bracket. And Empire, they confidently move forward. They'll be facing the potential winner between both Hellraisers and Na'Vi, which I believe will be our next matchup. You can see already potential post-game interviews happening on stage here from good old Vlad. I don't know what they're going to say, but I'm sure Empire feeling very confident here. And, well, Gods, Zyori, welcome back to the panel, by the way. I know you guys were probably watching.
Hi.
It was hard to watch if you're a Fire fan. If you're an Empire fan, you're feeling really good.
A very fast opening series, just about as quick as the best of three you could hope for Empire. Looking very strong. Seeing the Omni Knight come out for a European team is a nice change of pace. He's been the talk of the town in NA, but in Europe he's still a bit of a rarity.
Yeah, and it did good work. Aloha Dance did a nice job babysitting. He was constantly there, hiding in a corner in case they wanted to make a jump on the silent. I know Fire recognized that, so they couldn't really as easily jump in. And Repel, we saw him with that last engagement. Troll don't care about no song. He ain't going to sleep.
Yeah.
He's going to take down Ush. And
yeah.
It really felt like Empire just had a much clearer plan with their supports as well. Because, like, it's very rare at 12 minutes in you will have the top 3 net worth heroes all in the same team. You lost all your lanes there, and that basically came from the support play. And Omni Knight is not a good support in the laning stage particularly. Like, he can kind of sit behind one hero, guarantee that one lane goes okay, but winning all 3 lanes I feel like was just a disaster for Fire. That you can't let that happen when your opponents have an Omni Knight. Sure, you have a Naga, so your lanes are kind of weak, but I just feel like Empire completely just manhandled Fire there. Like, they were just outclassing them.
Yeah, I mean, there was just nobody to create space for the Naga. There was that point at like the 10, 11 minute mark where Ush is just walking around trying to find somewhere to farm some creeps, and by the time he got the Radiance, already the mech is out on the Shadow Fiend, all these core items are already onto the field, and there's just no standing up to him.
And it was such a good start for Fire. Fluff had some seriously good fissures at the beginning of that game. Helped them set up the first blood, a great save on a TC in the mid-game. The momentum felt like it was building up for Fire, but they just couldn't hold on to it. At the point when Yoki got that blink dagger, that's when things just looked too grim, and they just went out of control.
Yeah, that was the crazy thing. He had Blink and Vanguard at 12 minutes in on an axe.
Yeah.
Like, geez.
If you have either of those at 12 minutes, I'd say, this axe is doing pretty well. He's getting his farm. Both of those items, oh my gosh. Not a fun time. And,
well, I don't think that smile is going to be there for much longer for Ush after that game.
Silent with the silent killer face there.
He looks stone cold. He's like, that was an easy fire to extinguish, no problem.
Yeah,
and
that
fire,
troll warlord.
They need to rekindle that fire, I'd imagine, in the lower bracket.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, next matchup?
Na'Vi versus Hellraisers. A big one, maybe a little more evenly matched. The timing on that is still TBD. That was a very fast opening series, so we might have a slightly longer break coming up here, folks. I don't know if the other teams... I think it was posted to start in about an hour and 10 minutes or so. Probably try and speed it up a bit, but I'm not sure if the teams are actually even at the venue yet and ready to set up. So
yeah,
we'll have a brief moment of silence here before Na'Vi Hellraisers, and we'll come back and hype it up a little bit and see how these teams got to where they are. So we're going to have a break now, and we'll be coming back with our next series to start soon.